Something is wrong with our relationships, love, and romance. Hello there, this is Dr. Paul Stoller, and the video you are about to watch is part 2 of Sex, Lies, and Trauma, based on an article by the same name I wrote for a peer-reviewed journal. When it comes to romantic relationships, most women will say they want to be with a nice guy, a good man, and that certainly applies to women with mature femininity. But just like it is rare to find a man with mature masculinity, the nurturing male, so it is rare to find a woman with mature femininity, the wise female. So for most women, it is not the nice guy they want, despite what they may say. Sure, he will be noticed and tolerated, but never desired. Nice guys are steady, consistent, and predictable. But the immature feminine will perceive that as being boring. The immature feminine seeks chaos, drama, and disruption of routine. It is what makes them feel alive, especially if blood is not perfusing the prefrontal cortex of their brains. They want to do what they want to do when they want to do it, otherwise known as lack of impulse control, and structure would hold them accountable, but they don't want to be held accountable. The immature feminine thrives on instability because it makes them, their brains, feel alive, engaged. This is the cause of the attraction to the so-called bad boys, because bad boys are chaotic, exciting, and add drama and passion to the life, aka increasing blood flow to a hypoperfused, low blood flow prefrontal cortex. Usually, an alpha or sigma male who owns his own space with confidence and certainty will reject overtures from a woman with immature femininity, which is the vast majority of women. The woman with mature feminine energy will desire a man who has both qualities. He is a single, nice alpha male, in other words, rare as hen's teeth. That nice alpha male comes with traits that the immature feminine is not able to cope with: discipline, strong boundaries, accountability, transparency, commitment, and compromise. To the immature feminine, these qualities will be perceived as toxic, controlling, or manipulative. The only thing that matters to a mature male is to have a partner that truly respects him first and foremost, values him, is a companion that brings peace, is willing to stand by him and grow with him to build a life together. Nothing else matters. Nothing. In this context, transparency is about the cornerstone of intimacy. Intimacy is not just a physical thing. It is about being able to share your feelings completely with your partner and often. No one needs to know everything you are thinking. This is about sharing what you are feeling. Many will say they don't feel loved or feel the love. There's really only one way to feel love, and that is the love you call into your own being, your own heart, and project it outward to the benefit of others. Become a conduit of love, and let it flow through you to the universe itself. You will feel the love when you do that, and you will feel loved as well. And the more you do this practice, the more love you will be able to channel, and the more love you will feel. Everyone has the potential to channel vast amounts of love, but to do so, we need to neutralize the barriers within our own hearts that we have built against it. It will take place automatically if we channel love as part of a spiritual practice. I know how hard it is to love oneself, but there are steps. Start practicing with self-respect. What is self-respect? It is recognizing and honoring one's own needs, feelings, and boundaries without relying on external validation. When you have self-respect, you value yourself, regardless of what others may think. You stand in your truth and stand up for that truth when called to do so. Your choices reflect your values and integrity and not made just to please others. True happiness is not in getting love, but in giving it with discernment. Yes, a mature heart utilizes discernment. A mature heart does not solely rely on raw emotion, but rather in conjunction with thoughtful, careful consideration and wisdom to navigate life's choices. It's about balancing intuition with clear thinking. Yet you have to be present in your life and energetically in your body to use discernment. We idealize our romantic partnerships as being about love, loyalty, and mutual respect. But the sad reality is, they are more likely to be about a power play between validation and control. Who cares more? Who holds the upper hand? And the deep need to be acknowledged for being relevant, where loyalty is worn like a costume that can be taken off when convenient. Humanity needs to evolve past the need for external validation and focus on building self-worth. Our true authentic self does not require external validation. The question is, outside of the desire to procreate, are almost all other romantic relationships about external validation? I am afraid they are. Perhaps the exception is when a woman with mature feminine energy and a man with mature masculine energy get together. But both are rare as hen's teeth, and neither one would be looking for a relationship, therefore making such a coupling very unusual. In most romantic partnerships, love is about what needs one can potentially fill in the partner's life. It is an infatuation with one's own projection. Most romantic partners aren't interested in the real you any more than they are interested in knowing who they really are. So many put their relationships on autopilot, which leads to normalized deviance, where unacceptable emotional dynamics are allowed to exist without being checked. Few understand relationships are a discipline and require constant maintenance. Love is not just a feeling. It is a practice and a skill. Love is a choice to see your partner and create an energy that allows them to feel safe, but a choice that requires constant choosing. One of the techniques or practices for relationship maintenance is to take 5 minutes at the end of the day and just talk about the emotions you felt during the day. No interruptions. Then the next day, the other partner does the same, so every day the partners rotate on who talks about their feelings for 5 minutes. Sounds simple, but it is a discipline. Maybe not for everyone, but the bottom line to keep a long-term relationship fresh is to maintain novelty, consistent physical and emotional intimacy, and think the best about your partner, especially during a fight or disagreement. In a relationship, it is imperative not to get involved with the wrong connection. Really not trying to offer dating advice here, but it is best to avoid those that have expectations. You will be able to fix everything for them. These are the magical thinkers. When reality shows up, they feel disappointed to the point of betrayal. Don't get involved with accountants, not talking about CPAs, who will keep score about who is doing what to maintain the relationship. An accountant will bail if they realize they are losing this tabulation. Don't get involved with the emotionally traumatized who have the baggage of unresolved pain from the past. I call them the carpetbaggers. Do not get involved with those I call the selfie set. They are in it for the image and the novelty. They want attention, not commitment. Do not get involved with a fixer. A fixer will get involved with someone who is not what they want, but think they can mold their partners into what they want. And when they realize that partner is not morphing into their fantasy, they are done. Don't let anyone rewrite your worth. Last but not least is the thrill seeker, because they are the most difficult to screen for and therefore often the most disruptive. A wingsuit daredevil, those that put on flying squirrel suits and jump off mountains, is easy to identify as a thrill seeker. But the vast majority of thrill seekers are not involved in extreme sports. Instead, they are undetectable. But they do get bored with stability and gravitate to drama and chaos because it makes them feel alive. The hormones of infatuation have a short fuse, 1 or 2 years max. When the oxytocin and dopamine are gone, that is when the trouble begins. Many of these folks may have been labeled as having attention deficit disorder, ADD, as children, and that may be the only clue. Not saying everyone with ADD is a thrill seeker, but it is a safe bet that every thrill seeker also has ADD. When the oxytocin and dopamine leave the stage of the relationship, a thrill seeker will seek it out elsewhere. And it would be nice if that meant taking up skydiving. But alas, if novel sexual encounters have been the way that person raised their oxytocin and dopamine levels in the past, that is what they will gravitate to in order to bring those levels back up. The irony is, marriage is one of the ultimate dangerous and high-risk activities one can engage in. And one would think, if that was understood, it might even satisfy a thrill seeker. Skydiving is a high-risk activity, true, and you can even die. 0.00028% chance per dive. But compare that with a near 50% failure rate for first marriages. Now, no one dies just from getting married, although they may wish they were dead. But marriage itself is not fatal, but still very dangerous to one's sense of self. Marriage is clearly not perceived as the danger that it is, or most thrill seekers would want to be married and stay married. There is an important variation of the thrill seeker where the spouse or partner withdraws from any activity that would support the relationship. They might verbalize that as feeling invisible in their own relationship, when the truth is, they lost interest in their relationship and don't want to be visible, but their ego won't let them go there. There is no infidelity, just emotional numbness thanks to suboptimal levels of oxytocin and dopamine. When their other half realizes they are in a relationship with essentially a cold, unfeeling stranger, they leave. But this is where it gets interesting. The now abandoned thrill-seeking spouse will recognize that not only have they jeopardized the relationship, but they panic for themselves. This sense of danger and fear kicks in the hormones that bring blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, and their reasoning and logical mind reestablishes itself, and they understand what they have done and sincerely try to make amends, but usually too late. The non-thrill seeking partner never knew they were literally in bed with a thrill seeker. So when the hormones of infatuation ran their course, what was left was a neurologically compromised individual that, through no fault of their own, became emotionally disoriented, but their interest in fixing things was honest and heartfelt, because their prefrontal cortex was now engaged. As much as 1 in 5 heterosexual married women in the USA will have extramarital affairs. The true number may be even higher, but buried under shame. There is a variation of infidelity that takes place not because feelings changed for their partners, but because they refuse to face themselves and do the inner work. Life encourages us to do so. We can evolve. It is about the absence of self-awareness. They are escaping, but what they are escaping is not what one might think. They are escaping the mirror their partners are holding up, and if they don't like what they see, they want to escape. Emotional evasion, rooted in shame, fear, and unresolved wounds. Escape is not sustainable, but they don't understand that. They will blame their partners for the parts of themselves they do not want to face. They crave external validation, not because they lack love, but they lack internal peace. They didn't cheat because they wanted someone new. They cheat to avoid becoming someone true. They cheated because they stopped facing themselves. Love makes them feel seen, but if they don't like what they see in the mirror, they run. With little to no oxytocin, their partner's love becomes a threat, and fight or flight kicks in. This is the end of part 2.